Well, you've clicked on the link. Obviously, you got some kind of pressure vessel that you need to test. Coolant system would obviously be the common one. My name is Brian, this is Denny, and we're going to try to kind of walk you through a good way to test, because obviously, yeah, you can roll it outside, or if it maybe even looks like an old motorcycle gas tank or a tractor gas tank or whatever. You can, fill it full of gas and watch it all roll out. Or a little more professional way to do it is with a pressure tester. Perfect. So let's show them how to do it.
Sounds good. What we have here, Brian, is our coolant pressure tester, and it's set up on a bladder type of an affair so that you do not need all the different adapters. And how it works is that with the pressure, if you can just run the pressure piece there, if you look on here, it says bladder and system. By pushing this towards the bladder, when we pump on that, the bladder here comes out. And then we can slide this over and seal it. So now you're putting air into the system. So you're sealing on this. You don't need all the adapters.
My 3-year-old would be fascinated by this.
Exactly.
I mean, he could play with this thing for hours.
If you hand me the red adapter, we put that onto the radiator.
If you put it on the right direction.
If you put it on the right direction, it fits a lot better. Then this sits into the radiator and clamps on.
All right.
Now I'm going to put this towards the bladder.
Okay. Pump it up.
Pump it up till it gets to the bladder area. Flip it over. Okay. Now you're ready to pressurize the system.
Okay.
Now as you pump pressure into the system, you are actually pressurizing the system. Most systems are bound 14 to 17 pounds. If in doubt, you can always look at the radiator cap. It's usually stamped on the radiator cap. And look for your leak. Once you get the pressure on it, it should hold pressure for probably a couple of minutes. Look for a leak on the hose or wherever it would be. Once you've done your testing, you've got your repair fixed, or you've got your testing done, now you need to relieve the pressure. Relieve the pressure is very simple. You have pressure there. As you push this over towards the bladder, through this hose and into some kind of a waste container, you will force the fluid. And when that drops down, you watch that coming down to 0. And once that's down to 0, you can remove the system.
Now I'm gonna test and watch. So how do you know where the leak is?
Because where the coolant was coming out of the radiator.
What if it's dry?
What if it's dry? Then it could be an internal leak inside the engine.
No. I mean, like, if the system was dry.
Well, then you'd have to put antifreeze or coolant back into it to
put some fluid in. Or what about maybe like a stethoscope?
Stethoscope would work fantastic.
Listen around for a little going on in there. Another little tip too, if you need to do a gas tank, especially like a motorcycle gas tank, keep the pressure really low.
Yes.
I mean, we basically took one and went with about 12 pounds, 15 pounds.
It doesn't
take a lot.
No.
So err on the side of going small.
Exactly.
All right, so while we're here, we got a few other cool tools. Yeah. This is really just to make you go, oh my gosh, that's so cool, I need one.
Yeah, so with this, Brian, we have coolant release tools for a lot of your radiator hoses. Vacuum hoses have a clamp on them that's a spring type clamp. Now I see on this car we use a lot of tools that use the old worm style, but here's an example of one of the hoses that has a spring type clamp. That goes on a spring type clamp. As you compress it, you can slide that clamp down off of the hose.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Isn't there a little lock on this one too?
It locks when you clamp it. There you go.
It's automatically locked. See, I'm trying to run the lock and it's already automatic.
That one works. And there's different styles. Like this one here is very easy to get at, so you use a straight on one.
Dude, this is the one I like.
I've
used this one before. These are so cool.
Because as you can get into like in a firewall or up against a tight area that you need to get a hose.
Let me get over in here.
There you go. And it still has the locking mechanism like we were talking about.
I love these kind. These are so awesome. Anytime you pull one of this type out, someone's always in the shop who's in amazement. You know what I mean? They're like, man, that guy's got everything.
And then also here's a hook tool that once you get this clamp off of your vacuum hose or radiator hose, even with this screw style clamp, that hose likes to get mainly growing to the component, so it adheres really strong. With this, get in between the hose and the metal piece or whatever you have, and slip it in there and work it around, and it breaks that seal. Oh, they can really be tough to get at.
They're always a pain. And don't do this at home, but if you need to get in there and get some teeth clean, you can take care of that too.
Sure would work for that.
Well, OTC has a lot of different really neat tools for you. Their lineup is really pretty crazy. You know what I mean? Every time I flip through there, I'm like, man, they've got one of those. So check them out, otctools.com.